Hi, guys. All right. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Call Me Other podcast. Today, I am bringing you a special podcast featuring me, Faith. That's right. It's down there. See it? Okay. That's right. Today, we have no special guests, but I just kind of want to come and talk to you all kind of about life. I know we've all been experiencing the pandemic right now, so I just want to talk a little bit about that, but not before we get into the talk of the week. We have a new president-elect and vice president-elect. We have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Can y'all believe it? Like, it has been quite a journey. As a journalist, just watching this campaign trail, I can honestly say it's a part of time that's unlike any other. You know, from President Trump catching the coronavirus 2 weeks out before election, the handling of the coronavirus, you know, Mike Pence, just all of it, the debates, the masks, the virtual everything, the way the rallies had to be held. Like, there will never be a campaign quite like this one. We hope that we will never go through this again. I think this coronavirus is the most unexpected thing ever. To me, just really being able to go through it and live through it. Like, there's times I'm like, it's no way I'm in a health crisis. Like, it really feels like that. I was actually just watching an interview with the Breakfast Club, and it was Tiny and Zanique, T.I.'s wife. Tiny, she's from Escape, this amazing girl group. But she was saying how, like, in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, people will be everywhere with no masks. Like, you know, they just do them. Like, they just have on no mask. And it's crazy to think how every state is handling it. And just thinking of how much this took over the world, really. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we are talking about me. That's right. I think, that was just a little buffer. But no, I want to talk a little bit about myself today because I can honestly say I have been going through it in every sense of the way, and I wanted to be kind of open about that process because I feel like so often we see people don't say on social media when they're going through it. They only talk about when they are having these amazing times, when they're making money, when they got the job of their dreams, they got the girl of their dream, the man of their dream. You know, we only see the highlight reel, but never the behind the scenes and the journey too. But I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about figuring it out. That's right, in a panoramic, if y'all seen good view. But yeah, it's a pandemic and it's hard right now. And I think for so many of us who are in between jobs or really lost, this season has defeated you, and I can relate because it definitely defeated me. You know, I think I had high hopes after I left my job. You know, I actually had a job lined up in Georgia, so I was going to go live in Macon, Georgia. I thought I had it made. I was going to be an hour and a half outside of Atlanta, and that's just how I was going to live my life. Like, I was so excited, but they decided to go with a one anchor morning show right now. You know, a lot of money networks weren't making, so they were just, you know, what you could do with one, what you need two for, when you could do it with just one. And that's what that network decided to do. And I think I never really was honest about it really to my parents or just to anyone. You know, I was excited to leave my other job because I had another job lined up, and that had never happened to me before. Usually I get stuck in these transitional periods where it's kind of like, man, like, dang, wait, you know, you're just waiting around, and, you know, it's just like, oh God, what I'm gonna do next? For the first time, I really had something kind of lined up. I was excited, but that was taken away from me. So I know that's not the story of just me, but for a lot of people, especially if you are around older people always feel like when you're young, you should be doing something, and it's kind of hard when you're not doing anything. Like, I'm just figuring it out. Like, where do I go from here? What company do I want to work for? What job do I see myself working for? Like, I was excited to be in Georgia. I was excited to start to keep going, you know. So what happens when you hit the pause button? And I think that's been very real for me, just like trying to hit that pause button. It's been hard because it's just like, okay, when do we stop hitting pause? When can we press play again? But this is just where I am with life, and I think that's okay. I think figuring it out doesn't mean that you're defeated, and I think that for me, I've definitely felt that way. It's like today, this whole month has been hard as the holidays approach. Like, you know, I went to my storage the other day, and I saw like my Christmas tree, and when you see different things that remind you of what it's like to be independent, and when you don't have that anymore, it's just like, dang, I'm just stuck here. Like, what I'm gonna do? Like, what does God really have for me? And I think those type of things really define your character, and just choosing not to be defeated even when you feel all hope is lost, they keep saying it like, oh, this is the dark season. We're heading into the dark season. Like, and it's just like, great. So on top of being jobless, it doesn't look like employment is going to be exactly going through the roof. And we're approaching the holidays. Everybody's off. And you just feel like, damn, like, what did I do to deserve this? So I just want to kind of, open up and just talk to you all about figuring it out. I think so often we allow our identity be defined by our work. Like, we don't separate identity and work. Who we are and how much we have going dictates who we are and how we show up in society. When people ask you, or when you're dating or just meeting people, the first thing people come out of your mouth is, well, where do you work? What do you do? Oh, you're this, da da da. How does that work? Like, that's common things. So I think it's so easy for us to get tied to our identity and just allow those things to really define us. I know I've definitely been a product of that. I just be like, okay, I do this, and this, So often what we do in our jobs define exactly what we do. So I think for those of you who are figuring out, it's okay. When you're in your 20s, you're going to be paying your dues. You're going to be figuring it out. And with that comes the ebbs and flows. Transitional periods are thought to be this grand thing that's just like, oh, okay, I'm deciding to do this. So tomorrow things are going to be perfect. No, in the Bible, Paul wrote the New Testament. Before he did that, he persecuted the church, though. And between that and writing the New Testament was God held him for 13 years. He was in the wilderness, just kind of figuring it out, going through things with Christ and walking with God. And I think that's so important that we remember that when we're going through transitional periods, things are not going to happen overnight, and that's okay, because give yourself time and grace, because you never know what God has next for you. And I think I find myself so consumed with needing to fit into society. In America, you work, you have a job, you're independent, you do this, you do that. And I think for me, not being a contributing member of society really bothers me, because I think that has defined my identity. This is who I am. But actually, that's not who I am. Who I am is, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a great person, I'm a woman of God. I'm so many other things about me. I love to podcast, I love to talk, I'm fun, I have a lot of personality. Like, those are things that define me, not just a job and a career, because one day I'm gonna have to retire anyway, and we're all disposable to these companies. Not getting into that though, but just sticking with it, that it's okay, Faith, just being inside my head. So I think that it's so important that in this season, for y'all out there that are figuring it out, to give yourself time and grace, and just know that nothing lasts forever and all seasons do change. You might go through this again, but don't allow what you're learning now to go away. In every lesson, learn from it. Learn from this. That's from Tyra. But I think it's so important that you learn from the things that God put you through, because in this season, when you go through a season where you don't have a job, or you don't have things, and you have like a stillness in your life, that when you go through it again, that you're able to have even better mentality and bring hope and light. I've gone through this before, so it's a lot easier this time for me to live my life and really still show up as myself to my friends. I think when I originally went through a stillness period, which is before I got my anchor position in Mississippi, I had left my other job, and it was like a 3-4 month period where I didn't work, but it was kind of like the best kept secret, because I didn't want to tell people I had quit my job. But I felt like at the other company, they were offering me positions that were less than what I deserved. I wanted to be a morning news reporter. That's my personality. I wanted to do live shots. I wanted to work with Gary. I wanted to have so much fun, and that's where I thought I fit in. But the news director did not see that for me. He wanted me to be a producer. He wanted me to do basic MMJ work. He really didn't want to. He wanted me to fit into what he thought, but he wasn't interested in what I thought was best for me. So it didn't work. So we went our separate ways, and I remember just crying and I would be so upset to my mom, and I'd be like, oh my God, like, what's wrong with me? I was caught up in just feeling not good enough. I felt like I was a failure, that maybe I wasn't meant to be a news personality and honorary talent. I really felt defeated by that. But, through prayer and supplication, I didn't even apply for this job, y'all. But I got an email from a news director, and he said they were looking for a basic reporter. But when I got to the interview, he told me that it was actually a morning anchor position. Everything that I knew I was, I think it's so important that you identify with who you are and what best benefits you. Robin Roberts talks about that. When she got out of school, she was offered like a reporter gig, and then she was offered a reporter gig that kind of offered her, it was like an evening position, and offered her a lot more money, but she took a part-time sports position because she knew that was what she wanted to do. Robin Roberts, she's an anchor now at GMA, but she knew she wanted to do sports reporting. She was a former athlete, so she chose to go with something that would benefit her in the long run. And she went on to have a great career at ESPN, and then she transferred out to GMA, so it all worked out. And I think sometimes we feel like, oh my gosh, like I gotta take whatever's given to me, but you don't have to do that. When God has something for you, it is for you. And you go with your first mind. I'm a morning news reporter. That's what I do. That's who I am. That's how I show up in the world. And me waiting for God to grant that to me allowed me to have an even greater position and really contribute and really learn everything that I needed to learn from that, and I think that's what's beauty in your journey. So now here I am waiting again, and I've gotten offers and different things for positions that really don't suit me. And I think that any person that would be in my position would just be like, okay, I just got to take what I gotta give. But you don't have to settle in life. And when you're figuring it out, and when you've gone through things and you know what's not for you, don't ever put yourself into a position where you have to tolerate something. If you know that's not for you, it's okay. Guess what? Something better is on the way. And I think so many of us who are in this drought season of this pandemic, that are in this bad part of life, we just think, oh my God, like, will it ever work out? And the answer is yes. Yes, it will come to pass. God is watching, and He knows what's for you. But sometimes you just have to stay patient, continue to pray, and just know that greater is on the way. And I think that's something that I have to remind myself when I'm figuring it out. When I'm making mistakes or I'm making decisions, like, it's okay. Like, Faith, you're learning, and you have to be graceful to yourself and give yourself time to really learn and develop. Because I think so often, especially as women, we're very hard on ourselves about having it all together. I'm 25, so I'm supposed to be married, have the career of my life, kids, all that. I don't have any of that going. And it ain't like it's going to happen no time soon. But it's okay, because my journey is my own. And I know that what God has for me is for me. And I don't have to beg for it because it's there. But in the meantime, I'm learning different things through working in these different newsrooms. And I know what's for me. I know what's not for me. I know how I like this and how certain things, what I look for in a newsroom, what I'm looking for as a leader for my news director. I'm looking for consistency, all da-da-da-da-da-da. I know what I'm looking for. And I think that it's so important that we stick with what works for us, and when we are on these journeys, that we stand strong and we never settle, and we trust in these times. Go with what you know. But in the meantime, when you are figuring it out, don't be hard on yourselves, because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to pay your dues. In order for me to figure out what I didn't like, I had to be a weekend reporter and figure out, it's really not where I shine at. But getting a chance to do mornings, I know where I shine at. I know where my personality can kind of show up at. I know where I fit in at. So I think going through all those things really allows you to be, so I think that's so important. But I just want to encourage everyone out there just to be strong and stand in what you believe in. But I also will stand in what you're going through. Like, you are not in this alone. But also, guys, I was reading this article, which is what I'm about to pull up. And I was reading it about Jason Momoa. And if y'all know Jason Momoa, he's Aquaman. He's Lisa Bonet's husband. He's like this gorgeous man, and he's like been sexiest man of the year so many times. He's won sexiest arms of the year. He's like this amazing actor. If you don't know who Jason Momoa is, you sleeping under a rock. But Jason Momoa, he was recently talking about in an interview, and he was just saying how, like, after he finished Game of Thrones, he was completely in debt and starving after his character was killed off. Now, if y'all don't know, Game of Thrones was like this amazing show that went on for like ever ago. It had 10 billion characters in it. It was, everybody loved Game of Thrones. But Game of Thrones went on for a lot of seasons. But Jason Momoa was in the first season, and he got killed off after episode 10. So this was in 2011. And Game of Thrones just ended, so it did a long tenure. But anyway, so he did that. And when he was killed off of the show, he was really in depth and really starving, and he said how his family and his wife Lisa Bonet, they really went through it because it became a big sensation. But unfortunately, he wasn't a part of that. He was scrambling, he was trying to figure it out. He said he was starving in 2011, and he said he just couldn't find work. Jason Momoa couldn't find work, and this was pre-pandemic, so this is just basic actor stuff. So he couldn't find work, and he said how very challenging it was because he had 2 kids. They have 2 beautiful babies, and they really just couldn't. He couldn't be that provider, and he struggled to find steady work. But his luck turned around in 2016 when he booked Aquaman in Justice League. So it took 2011 to 2016, that's 5 years passed. And, he said suddenly, he became such a big sensation. Aquaman, everybody's seen the movie. And now Jason doesn't have trouble finding work. And he's booked actually through 2024. It's just 2020. So he's booked for the next 3-4 years. But that just goes to show you that in due time, in due season, things will turn around for you. But stay your course when you're figuring it out. Don't allow people around you to misguide you or tell you, maybe you should do this, maybe this isn't working. Stay the course, and it will all work itself out. And that really spoke to me because I think in this drought, some of us are just like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? But sometimes it's going to take time to find what's just right for you. So here it is, Jason Momoa, the most talented actor. I think he's amazing. He got the looks, he got everything, he got the wife, he has everything going for him. But even he struggled. So no one's above struggling. And that's what I just want the message to be. When you're figuring out, don't allow people to make you feel bad about where you are in life, because struggling is the only way you truly figure out and appreciate where you're going. If you have never seen nothing but sunshine, you'll never understand what it's like to go through the rain and to appreciate the sun. You can't ever really appreciate things until you go through things. You can't really appreciate paying your own bills, or you can't appreciate buying your own groceries until you haven't been able to before. When you don't know how you're going to get that next meal. When you don't know how you're going to keep those lights on. When those lights turn off, you hit that light switch and those lights are off for not 1 month, not 2 months, maybe 3 months. Until you don't know how you're going to feed your kids, you can't really appreciate things. So when you are going through these struggling seasons, this is someone, like I said, Jason Momoa, such a talented actor, he's going through it. Don't feel defeated. Just hang on in there. I don't want y'all to feel that, oh my God, this is never going to work out. It is, but it's just not in your timing. I wish I could be in a newsroom right now, but that's just not my reality. And I know God is working it out for me. And no matter how many people try to make me feel inferior or feel like I'm doing nothing, or call and try to like humiliate me, be like, oh, she not working yet, that doesn't matter, because I know it's between me and God. And what he has for me is for me. So I don't have to worry about the opinions of others. And I know I'm going through this season for my own, for what? I don't know. But his ways are not my ways. And this is just how things are right now. But I can learn how to appreciate my time, appreciate being able to still pay my car note, my insurance, being able to do all these things. So even when you're struggling, find ways to just manage it and know that nothing lasts forever. Prosperity is on the way. What if Jason Momoa would have quit? Who would have been Aquaman? I mean, really, y'all? Who would have been Aquaman? So 5 years is a long time. And I'm sure he booked little side work. I'm sure he wasn't completely unemployed. But he's just saying, he wasn't able to be the A-list, the star, probably the man, the actor that he knew he was. He wasn't reaching his full potential. But guess what? Aquaman and Justice League was on his way, and he booked it, and now he's booked through 2024. Okay, I don't know where I'm gonna be in 2024. 2024. I can't even imagine life in 2020. I can't even imagine. I was telling my close friend Shayla, I was telling her, I don't know how I'm gonna make it to 26. Okay, let alone through 2024. I'm just trying to make it these next couple of months. But that's just the reality of when God has something for you, nobody can knock it. So I just want to encourage everyone out there that's like me, that's figuring out, that's going through it. It's okay. It's going to all work out in His timing, not our own. So stay encouraged, y'all. Stay blessed. Stay uplifted. Even look at our president-elect, former Vice President Joe Biden. You know, he did 47 years as an elected official before he was able to become president. You know, he ran for president in 2007. And, you know, here it is 2020. He's just now getting to be president-elect and being able to now fulfill his lifelong dream. You know, he's gone through so much, lost his wife, his daughter, lost his son. You know, he's lost so much. So, but guess what? That's just made him more a personable person. He knows what it is to relate to people that have lost their families in the midst of this pandemic. So when you're going through things, just know God is growing you into being what He needs you to be. So don't be afraid of the pain and the suffering that comes with life. No life is without struggle. So just stick with it, y'all. Stay uplifted. I know I talk to myself all the time. I choose to be happy, even if that means eating something bad or doing things that you probably shouldn't do it to cope with life. But I just choose to stay above and just stay definitely anchored in this time. I can't allow right now to define me. I can't attach myself to my career. Who I am as a person has no bearings on where I work or how I work or how much money I'm making. But who I am and my character is defined by everything that my parents and my my parents have taught me, my moral compass, and my experiences. Not a job. So if you ain't working, or if you're not that entrepreneur, your business ain't popping like that, or your podcast ain't popping like that, guess what? It's okay. It's growing, and don't allow that to make you. So I just want to encourage someone out there to know that better is coming. Better is coming, y'all. It'll be greater later. And just stay encouraged in this season, and just know God is always with us, and know that He sees you, He hears you. But guess what? His will is not our will, and sometimes you're just gonna have to wait it out, baby. So guess what? You don't know what's out there that the universe is blocking you from. Okay? So the universe is blocking you from something. I don't know what it is yet. There go that grandfather clock again, y'all. I'm sorry. But the universe is blocking you from something, and guess what? It's a blessing. So God's protection is through rejection. So I know what you want to do. I know where you want to be right now. But trust me, it's all for your greater good. So stay strong, y'all. Stay encouraged. Stay loved. Stay happy. Do something nice for yourself. Treat yourself. And know that better is coming. And guess what? The only way you'll know what better is coming is if you stay in the fight. So don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your hopes. Don't give up on anything. Just stick with it. Stay encouraged. You are not alone. I have gone through this season before a pandemic. So you know now I'm sitting in the catbird seat, okay? I know God got me. God got this. My big brother Jesus shows up big all the time. So I know His ways are not my ways, and I know things will work out for the greater good. So I just want to thank y'all for your time, and hopefully my little journey helps y'all look to Jason Momoa's journey and just know, guess what? It will all work out. Peace and love, y'all. I will see you all next week. A little positive a little positive podcast for y'all on today. And I just hope y'all can have a blessed week, and that you all stay good. Peace and love, y'all, in abundance. Alright guys, that is this week's episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in this week. Be sure to tune in every week to check out all of our new episodes. We are available on all platforms: Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, and I want to give a special shout out to J Visuals for the graphics. So be sure to stay tuned for more exciting things to come. Have a good week, be blessed, and in abundance.